We are the only company that is working on this vertical completely, end to end. There are a lot of companies, but nobody is doing all of them in one shot, right? So I know the technology is there that can move money very fast, but it's not really put into good use. Most people in India or anywhere in the world, they use WhatsApp and SMS. So we built a solution called Stable Chat. That's one of the products we have. Through any message, you can send money to anybody. Okay. So if I have a WhatsApp number, I can send Stablecoin to you. Okay. And then you have a way to off-ramp it to local currency.
Do you have a piece of advice? Let's just say if you were starting out from, again, for your younger self when you have got started?
Start early.
Because for a lot of times, you need not change the path itself. It's just starting the path early on so that where you are today, you could be maybe 10x further in your life than you would have started.
A lot of people in India or Bangalore serve US market. They are working as freelancers, but they're getting paid in stablecoins, but they don't have any real good way to off-ramp that money to INR. To complete 12 subjects, I had done 11. I was planning to do my internship and COVID hit, so I couldn't go out or take any internship. Building or shipping is not a problem anymore. To spend a good weekend or something, or a week, you will have your code ready.
Hi everyone, this is Faizan from SaaS Follow. We have Abhi from Stable Corp. So we are going to learn a lot from Abhi today. So welcome Abhi to the channel.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Abhi, what do you do? What are you working on? And what's your story?
Yeah. So I'm Abhi. I'm co-founder of Stable Corp. I've been working in Web3 from past couple of years. Previously, my technical background is mostly into programming. Before that, I was also a mechanical engineer. So I completed my bachelor's here, worked for a couple of years, and then I moved to Germany for my master's. I completed my master's in automotive domain and programming, mostly in autonomous world. I worked there for 5 years for a company called Magna. I was data analyst there. I used to take care of all the things related to KPIs and those things. I met my founder in my bachelor's itself. So we were working on Sangharsh. We were working on multiple projects here and then. We have been friends for 10 years now, 10 or 12 years, I don't know. Yeah, so it's been long. Yeah, we used to work on multiple problems. We like to solve difficult problems, and we used to we took different journeys, paths, I would say, but we kept working on one of the other things here and then. Whenever we had time. So one of the ideas was that when he went into crypto a bit early, 5-6 years ago. So I was also slowly transitioning into that domain. I was a bit busy at then. I slowly transitioned into crypto from past 2 years. We started looking at different things. One problem that was very obvious for us was to sending money back home, because Sangharsh NK was in Sweden, I was in India, so we used to send money back home. So right now I have so many apps that I can send the money in 30 minutes. Back then, when I was doing it for 7 years or 8 years back, it used to take 1 or 2 days or maybe 3 days sometimes to get them to send the money, and the rates were really bad. In the sense, you used to lose a lot of money to FX. And at that same time, I was looking into crypto, stablecoins. I know the technology is there that can move money very fast, but it's not been really put into good use, I would say, because the Web2 and Web3 markets are not completely interlinked. I would say some of the technology in Web3 is really good, but it's not visible to anybody who is not very much involved in Web3 or crypto. So that was the thing. That's when we started working on that. So the easiest thing that we thought was that most people in India or anywhere in the world, they use WhatsApp and SMS. So if you take a market like India, WhatsApp, it's completely WhatsApp based. If you take a market like Nigeria, it's a lot of SMS based market. So we built a solution called Zelio. Now it's called Stable Chat. That's one of the products we have. So basically what we did was that through any message, you can send money to anybody. So if I have a WhatsApp number, I can send Stablecoin to you, and then you have a way to off-ramp it to local currency. So same way, it's near instant transaction. So I send money, you get a message. That's all. By the time message reaches, the transfer is completed. So yeah, it was that fast. Okay. So we did it for for a few months last year, and then we realized that we have 300 customers or something, or daily users. So while solving this problem, we kind of realized the bigger problem, the power users of stablecoins, right? So they are mostly freelancers, developers, content creators, many other domains, gig workers from emerging markets. Because of a lot of people in India or Bangalore serve US market. They are working as freelancers, but they're getting paid in stablecoins. If they're Web3 native, they get paid in stablecoins, but they don't have any real good way to off-ramp that money to INR.
Yeah.
So we also, in the last year, we also won a hackathon grant. It was so difficult for us to transfer that money to our bank accounts. We had to do so many things. At that point, we realized that a lot of people are our users, and a lot of other people who are winning the grants also are facing this problem to get that money to their bank accounts. Basically, they were losing either too much money or too much time to get that done. So if they wanted cheaper solution, they had to wait longer time. If they want like quick solution, they had to lose a lot of money, whatever the amount they earned. So while thinking about this, while thinking about all these problem statements, we kind of realized that there is a good market fit for somebody who's earning in emerging market. We could set up a company for them and start earning money through their businesses. That's how the idea started, and we sat for a couple of months, researched how to do it and all those things. Finally, we designed a product, and that's our product, Stable Corp.
Okay, so the story of the Stable Corp started when initially you both were sending money to your parents and you faced a problem there. And just curious to know, when you told like you use SMS and WhatsApp as a technology to send money, so was it through like some means that used to go take the money there, or was it like a platform that you built that you were telling Stable Corp, a Stable Chat? So Stable Chat was an app
It was not even an app, so it's a phone number basically.
Okay.
So you say that I want to send $10 USDC to Faizan's number. Basically, we had a form kind of thing. You just say send money. It will show to whom to send money. You just enter the number. You just enter the amount. You enter a pin. That's it. The money sends. Money will be sent to your account. So if you are not a user, we'll create account for you, create a wallet, and all those things. It will happen in the backend. So you, for you, it's as good as sending money through WhatsApp.
Okay. So interesting. For you, it's just putting the person's detail, and you people were working on the back end to fix the wallets and to link the wallets and transfer the money.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Now I would be curious to know about what's the state of Stable Corp now. What are you doing? What's the numbers around Stable Corp?
So we have around 10 customers now, and we have launched like 1 month ago kind of. So we were building for Jan and Feb this year. So from March it's mostly into time. We spent time into sales and marketing. From then on we have caught up like 10 customers, and we are growing each day. We are taking a lot of calls every day and onboarding more and more clients. So the most users are from India and some of them Nigeria. So we have some users there. Yeah, so that's how it is looking like. So we are trying to wear different hats and basically get into the market.
Okay, interesting. So it took you a month to get to 10 paying customers. Interesting.
Yes.
So what's the revenue that I have been making in Stable Corp for now?
Yeah, it would be 10K, 10K per month.
Okay, 10K. Okay, interesting. So now this is the interesting story when you told it took a month for you to come from the stage of launching to getting 10 customers, and you initially told that you had seen the problem statement over a long period of time to come to a conclusion to make something like Stable Corp. Interesting. So what was your main channels for customer acquisition once you had launched the product?
So main customers was like we are mostly into Web3, and I know a lot of we work with a lot of developers and all. So all of the people we are working with, right, they're already facing this issue, right?
Okay.
That's one way to reach, basically connections of connections, and we have access to we are basically rely on Solana. To an extent, we are part of Super Team Germany, and by being part of these networks, so you find a lot of people who are already facing this issue, and it's like a known issue in the ecosystem that you can't really have good off ramp, or there is no good solution to do this right now in emerging markets especially. So it was a no-brainer for us to get those customers.
Okay, interesting. So this problem statement was like a painkiller for all of your clients around and the people around who are dealing with stable coins and stuff. So that was a reason for you to easily onboard them to the product. Interesting. Now I just want to understand, now you told me the problem statement that the Stable Corp is solving with respect to this. Can you tell me fundamentally where the whole system is flawed so that we can understand where this problem originates from?
Yeah, so if you take a look at the traditional financial system right now, so the banking between like in India we have UPI and a near instant transaction is like a second in
Yeah.
nature for us, right?
Yeah.
Like we know near instant transaction.
Yeah.
For example, in US, a transaction takes 1 day, which is called ACH transfer usually, and cross border it's even difficult, right? So
Okay.
if you want to send money from US to Nigeria or India, it takes time. If you use Swift or something, it takes 3 days. If you do a wire transfer, it takes 3 days. And if I have a US banking account because of our company, so if I have to do a transfer today, let's suppose it's on Saturday or Sunday, if it's or a holiday, the transfer will be started probably from the working business day.
Okay.
So it takes for me, like for example, if I have to do some transfer, it usually takes 3 days. And if it's a public holiday, I have to, it is like plus 1 or 2 days on top of that, right?
Yeah.
So with stable coins, it's like 24/7. You don't have to, it doesn't sleep, right? So it's on chain, and you can make near instant transfer within a minute or so, and you don't have to worry whether it's working day or a business day or all those things. The transfer is very fast, and it's very cheap also. So traditionally it takes a lot of like X percentage of the dollar percentage of the transfer to give to transfer money. With stable coins and few chains of crypto, it's very like the transaction fees are quite low.
Okay, so you're basically telling the traditional methods take time and they are very slow when you want to do it for such case scenarios. And when you transition this to a Web3 system through a lot of coins around, stable coins around, so this becomes instantly fast, and also the conversion rates, the price that the token charge is also very low. That makes as a no-brainer for the product of Stable Corp something to be alive.
Basically, like a lot of people are adopting stable coins. So it's like the volume in which the money is moving in stable coins, right? It keeps increasing year by year by year. So that is a good indicator that people are adopting.
Okay, interesting. So people are getting aware of the problems that the normal, the Web 2 or the traditional methods have, and people are slowly adapting towards the way such as Web 3 and so on. Interesting. Now I want to know like about more about the overall industry itself, like the Web 3 itself. Now if you see if I'm not wrong, I think it's Bitcoin that was the initial thing that got started, that introduced the concept of Web 3. So can you tell me a quick little story of what was the problem that Bitcoin solved, and what was the problem during that time as a traditional space?
Bitcoin is all about decentralization. So if you look at the banking sector and also, it was highly regulated by the government. So Bitcoin came into existence because the money you own is yours. So nobody has control over it. So that's like kind of the fundamental concept Bitcoin introduced and crypto introduced. But what stablecoin is doing, stablecoin is also a cryptocurrency. But the differentiation between Bitcoin and a stablecoin is that Bitcoin is or Bitcoin or any other coins, right? They are volatile. So if I want to send like some money to you, let's take an example. You ask me, you create me. For example, I have asked you to do something, and I said I'll pay you some money. So, I would say, let's say we take 1 Solana. We agreed that you get paid 10 Sol. Right? Down the line, 1 month, you complete the work, the price has increased, Solana price. So,
okay.
The same, if I had paid the 10 Solana, if you calculate the equivalent value of that, it's like if you compared it to dollars or some other currency, which dollar currencies, the value has increased, right? So you can't agree on a particular amount. So that's when stable coins kind of come in, because the value of a crypto stable coin is pegged to a currency or an asset. It can be also gold, but usually well-known ones are attached to the dollars or euro. So the most famous ones are USDC and USDT. So they are basically pegged to US dollars.
Okay. Interesting. So this was another problem statement that it did solve, where the fluctuation in the currency, the value of
the volatility
was solved by stable coins. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Now, can you give me a bigger picture of how beyond India? Because in India, I guess the adoption is now starting around. People are going around Web3 kind of. It's not still the new norm, okay? But still, it is among the early adapters. It is like very common nowadays with respect to Web3s and all the technologies around. Can you tell me with a bigger picture world of overview of how globe is being accepting this? What are the countries that are highly being transactional with respect to this, and so on?
So if you look at the volumes, right? So India is one of the top members. Comes on the top of the list in stablecoin volumes. Apart from that, there is Nigeria, and African countries, which are doing very high usage of stablecoins. So the reason is that the main reason I believe is that the volatility of the currency, right? Like people in Nigeria, they want to hold US dollars because their currency, which is naira, it keeps inflation. Because of the inflation, the value between one USD to equivalent to naira, it keeps increasing very rapidly. So compared to India, nowadays in India also there is a lot of change. Generally in naira, the value keeps increasing. So people like to hold US dollars there. Physical access to US dollars is very difficult. Either you have to have a US bank account or you really have to own physical dollars, right? So that's a bit difficult to do that. That's when stable coins come into pictures. You can hold money in your wallet as stable coin. That way whatever the money you have earned, right? Like if you save it as USDC or USDT, it won't be affected by the currency inflation also.
Okay, interesting. If you had to quote Stable Corp in a single line, what would that be?
I would call it as a global finance for founders without borders.
Okay, interesting statement. It's a compressed statement with.
That is all we want to achieve, because where you live, or where basically your zip code shouldn't define your ceiling. That's one of the things that we kind of want to provide, that kind of facilities. Anybody who is living in Bangalore or in SF, they should have the same financial raise, the same access to business, and that's what we want to enable.
Okay, so you want to eliminate the hassle of me going and manually doing all these things in order for me to set up some things here, so that I can maintain the same level of currency and
Not only that, it's most like providing you all the tools that somebody who's sitting in SF can have. We provide the same tools to somebody who's sitting in Bangalore.
Okay.
So he can operate without any borders.
Okay. So you're enabling people and empowering them with the exact tools that people that have across the world towards somebody remote inside a very like a developing country like India or a third world country like anything.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Now let me ask you about your personal things about Stable Corp. Now I just want to understand, like, what do you do at Stable Corp, and how are you helping Stable Corp to grow at a very higher pace?
Yeah, so I started working as a developer when we started with Stable Chat. I mostly worked on development and other activities.
Okay.
For Stable Corp, I initially, for the first 2 months, we were completely in development and strategy phase. At that time, I was into development to an extent, and then from past 1.5 months, I am putting the sales and marketing hat now. So I am trying to basically write more articles and reach out to people through Instagram and Twitter. Those are the two things that we think are good places for anybody who's consuming content in India. So I'm basically doing marketing content. That's one thing. I'm also doing the compliance angle as well. It's like since we are operating in crypto, we need to be very regulated. It's very regulated in India, and we have to be compliant, and that's what we believe as well. So I'm working on compliance frameworks and all those things.
Interesting. So let's just say, since you have seen it from the initial part of Stable Chat to now Stable Corp.
Yeah.
Now, what is the role that you highly enjoy doing? If you had an option to pick the only role that you would enjoy the most doing.
It's a difficult choice. Since I'm an engineer and I'm kind of biased towards choosing development work. But since I'm switching hats, I'm kind of enjoying other roles as well. So I've not spent enough time to basically make a decision, I would say.
Okay, interesting. Since we all are biased towards engineering and we have come from that background, it's actually that gives a state of something else. Yeah, makes sense. Now, when you told you initially started with development and all the things, now for somebody who's, let's just say, for a viewer who just want to get started into such things and build a product in a Web3 space, what is the journey or what is the roadmap that you would suggest for them to follow in order to get started with Web3 industry?
Yeah, so choose one chain. If you already know some kind of programming language, just choose a chain and start working.
Can we just break down into steps, like maybe when you're telling chain, what do you mean? Because for the person who doesn't know what are chains with respect to Web3.
There is Bitcoin, Ethereum and Solana. So you can choose between Ethereum and Solana. There are other chains that are in the market, but choose a popular chain with good
Okay.
ecosystem. Basically, that's what you are looking for.
Okay.
With good developer community.
Okay, so the first step is you choosing a mature chain and a popular chain, which is aligned to your
Wherever you
work.
have access to. For example,
Okay.
a lot of chains go to universities to get people getting invested in their chain. So they use that as an opportunity as
Okay.
well. So it need not be popular ones. Just get a good chain. Do a quick research on different chains that are currently in the market and choose a chain and start working on their programming languages. Like each chain has their own kind of preference to the programming languages, right? So start learning one of them.
That's the first step.
Yeah, and then start learning one of the programming languages. If they have a community, join that. It will be very helpful. And start participating in a hackathon. Whether you win it or not, it doesn't matter. Just participate. So you will meet people there. People who are building. There are like a lot of people within. Once you join a hackathon, right? There are a lot of people who are looking for other developers. Or they are looking for co-founders. They are looking for marketing persons, content creators, and so on. All these exchanges, all this access you get once you enter the hackathon, right? So basically, you start if you have an idea, start working on it. If you don't have an idea, start learning and start talking to people. Find an idea which you think is good. Start talking to them. Get into the team, or you basically choose a path. This is where you can choose different kind of paths. So if you're a developer, start building and contributing. That's one way. And once you are well versed, right? Let's say you participated in few hackathons, you can start working as a freelancer. If you don't want to choose the founder path, if you can also choose the freelancer path. So you can work on multiple projects and get paid.
Interesting. So the step one would be first picking up a chain, and the step two would be once you pick up the chain based on the community or the tons that is most relevant to you, start with the programming language that it supports. And then once you have learned something, picked up something, start attending to a lot of hackathons, because that's where you get your right.
Even you don't
find
have
the people.
to. You don't have to be very well versed within the community, within the chain or within program. You can just join the hackathon, start talking to people. That itself will do enough more learning than what you physically sit and do, right? So that's how I learned a lot, because once I started Red Stable chat product, right, we participated in Colosseum hackathon and we won a grant as well. So the most learning I did was in that period. Basically, like you have a deadline, you have to ship before that deadline, right? You basically force yourself into doing things.
Yes. That's something that works for everyone. So what would be your suggestion for maybe that you are biased towards a chain to pick up for anyone to start?
I am biased towards Solana.
Okay.
So because it has lot of very good community, and I've been into Solana from past 2 years. I didn't get any reason to get away from there, right? So I'm getting a lot of good support from the people within the ecosystem and all.
Okay, interesting. So Solana is something that you suggest. Okay, interesting. Can you tell us more about like the part of joining a hackathon or a community, because that plays a vital role for people to grow and flourish in their industry? And and also curious to know what was the grant you earned, because for somebody who's sitting down, it motivates them that this is something that this is the amount of range that we can expect if we start hitting people, and what are the opportunities around these things.
Yeah, so last time when we participated in Colosseum, we earned like a 10K grant.
Okay.
That was initially, that's when we kind of believed that
USDC.
USDC, yeah.
Okay.
So that was our first grant. After that, we started building and we went through the VC route.
Okay, so interesting. So it's like for somebody who is just starting out, you can just start out like how Abhi and team started with an hackathon, because that can become like these other things that can become like a path for you to start like a founder journey, or maybe to move towards like a more freelancing kind of side if you don't want to take the hassle of the founder journey.
The grants range from 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 25, up to 25,000 typically. So even though if you don't win, just the participation itself will give you a lot of things already without the money as well, like lot of learning. So and typically grants start from 1K if it's a global competition, and the local ones have different prices, of course. Yeah, and within a hackathon, right, there are different tracks as well. There is the stablecoin track, there is a DeFi track, there is a RWA track. So different kind of like within crypto, there are like a lot of different things that people work on, right? So there are tracks for these things. So you can look at the tracks and what you need to build on these tracks, right? And you can also choose what and all you can do within the crypto, right? So people just think it's trading, but it's like there is a lot of things tech involved in Web3, you basically understand what people are building. That's also a good thing to know because you'll get exposed to different new projects that are upcoming, right? Yeah, so yeah, that's also
interesting. Okay, interesting. Now I'll give you a persona. Let's just say a person just got into college and he offers engineering or bachelor's or anything degree, and he wants to get into Web3, and you also told the path that it has to take. Can you give a rough timeline that he has to put into, like maybe the first 3 months of him practicing and then hitting up a hackathon and then maybe going and exploring things? What is the timeline that you would suggest for somebody who's just starting out and for a fresher, someone like this?
Currently this path might not be the ideal one, but this is what I picked up, kind of thing. So initially I was coding mostly in Python. The website and other things, it's all in different language, right? So I took a couple of months, not even couple of months, few weeks to learn the coding language that we require to build websites, right? So put 1 to 1.5 months, because for me, since I know one language, transitioning was a bit smoother. So if you're starting from the beginning, right, it takes 1 month, 1.5 months for you to just understand coding and in general what are the tools you need to use basically. So around 2 months I would say to spend time in coding, understand it. Don't completely rely on AI, but use AI as your teacher, kind of thing. That is like much the things it can suggest, right? This today's standard, it's really good. Like back then, what I used was like we used YouTube videos or something, or some courses, right? Right now you don't really have to do that, so you can just use Claude or ChatGPT, ask you to prepare 1 month course and start following it. As simple as that. So you can take 1 or 2 months, and then if find a hackathon or event in Luma which is happening in the city you live. Just participate. Like you don't really have to wait for you to complete the learning or anything. So just participate in 2-3 events, find out which kinds of events work for you, and start building connections. Talk to people that you are interested in doing, and take suggestions from them, what they did or what they could suggest you, because it's my one person's suggestion, right? So people have taken different paths and moved into Web3.
Interesting. And what is the programming language that Sonana uses? Is it Rust?
Yeah, it's Rust and Anchor.
Okay, interesting. So you're initially suggesting if somebody is starting from base scratch to let them spend a month or 2 in understanding and getting used to the muscle memory of programming. Once they have come into the path and they understand, they should start getting into events and maybe start getting into hackathons, even with not the intention to win or dominate, just to have a look at how things are working out, how the ecosystem is, which will give you a lot more learning than you just sitting at home and practicing. In dark. Exactly. Interesting. Now, okay, let's take, since you have worn a couple of hats in the past with respect to Stable Corp. Now I just wanted to give, let's say, if a founder, if somebody in their early career wants to take the path of a founder, what are the traits they have to have, or what are the things that you suggest them to start building initially as a founder that will help them to grow at a very much highly accelerated rate?
One suggestion or something that I would tell is that be ready to grind. So you are going to spend a lot of hours, so be prepared that you're going to spend this much hours, because when I transitioned from corporate to founder, I kind of took that like couple of moments to just to tell myself that okay, I'm going to spend a lot of hours on this, and I'm ready for this, and I want to do this. That's something that you have to tell yourself and be ready. Down the line, it's going to be long hours. I don't know when I sleep, I don't know when I get up. So it's going to, you're going to spend a lot of hours. Be prepared. Take a moment to just to believe in you and start working. Right?
Okay, interesting. Makes sense. It's like if you're starting as a founder, it's a no-brainer, and it's a foundational skill, and it's a prerequisite of you accepting that there is not going to be any work-life balance. There is not going to be anything that is going to be planned. So be ready to grind.
At least few months you're going to spend, like until you get into rhythm of the things you do, right? For example, even the strategy or what you want to do, the idea phase, the execution phase. Like these are the big things that you need to solve. If you're taking if you're spending a lot of hours there, right? You'll get invested naturally into it. So just be ready for that.
Interesting. So going through that rhythm is important for you to pick up on the path of it. Interesting to know. Now, can you tell me what was like the Now I just wanted to shift towards of what you do in work, since you also started as a developer. So I wanted to ask you, is building the product hardest part within your ecosystem, or is it the compliance that is the hardest part for you to solve, or that's the hardest in your industry?
So few years ago, I would say they were hand in hand. Building and compliance. Maybe building was harder because the number of codes that you can write per day has been increased to a exponential level through AI.
Yeah.
So you typically don't have to sit and do every line of code. You need to do some part of it. And,
Yes.
Like there are a lot of models that can write code for you nowadays.
Yes.
Right. So building is becoming easier with the as the model gets better and better. I've been using Cloud and other models like from past 2-3 years since the beginning, right? Like I've seen that change of the models, how they were basically like I never used to trust any model when I was coding, right? In the initial phases. Slowly I've built some kind of like now I trust to an extent. I'm not 100% sure, but to an extent I trust the model to write code to an extent, right?
Yeah.
So that in that regard, building has become very easy now. Compliance part, it's like it's still like not productized, I would say. People still have to go through different things. It's a bit hard. You have to read a lot of stuff. There is a lot of content on the internet. Like if you Google for something, there is like 100 opinions there. So you need to find out what is actually true and what is not. There's like a lot of content out there, which is none of it is. There's a lot of
It's like a scattered set of opinions and people's
exactly
takes on things.
scattered opinions. That's what I would say. Like either you go to a person who is really involved in that space and knows what is actually the law, rather than going to a Reddit or something, right? So that you have to do. Like you like for example, compliance side. There are many things in time. Like one is like how to set up the company. Second is how to do which kind of banks do you choose, or what is the best banking system that you could use for you to get started. Then you have taxes, have lawyers, and then all those things. Like it's like each of them is a big topic. It's a big giant topic.
So it's like more about compliance is more about the research part, and you being completely involved in that to understand the ecosystem is what, and that's something that will take, I think, a long time for it to become productized and maybe come to a rhythm or where things are seamless.
It's like development. If I look at like engineering perspective, I would say. So if I have to code in a language, right, there is a language defined. I have to learn that language and certain coding style, right? So it's like logical things.
Yes.
With respect to compliance, it's not. So there are like too many things. So it's you have to find a solution for you. For example, that might the solution might differ. Somebody who's living in India, somebody who's living in Sweden, or somebody who's living in Germany.
It becomes more subjective than being objective.
And what you want to achieve, right? Somebody wants a startup, somebody wants a business, somebody wants to do freelance, somebody wants to create content, right? For all of them, there are different things around it, like where to do what kind of thing. So it's kind of like right now,
So now we have come to the path of understanding from a founder's perspective. I just want to, since you have worked in the backend also, what's your tech stack with the Stable Corp? What are you using? What are the tools that you're using on a daily basis?
So obviously Cloud that we are using extensively. Cloud we are using, and tech stack I would say Next.js for the front end, and we use Convex for the back end.
Convex for the back end. Interesting. So this is covering almost of your whole bigger picture of your tech stack.
Exactly.
Interesting. What's the one tool that maybe without that you cannot survive?
Cloud. Hands down Cloud. I've tried like many tools. I've tried Gemini Pro, Gemini, and then I've tried ChatGPT, Opus models, and I've tried all pro versions, not like extensively. So what I've done is like, since I am in front of a terminal a lot of the time, I've given the same problem to different models and try to see which one has solves it, or try to understand it. Cloud has, like, at least my own experience, like there are like a lot of benchmarks that people do, but I have tested it myself, so I believe in that. So
even for us purpose, specifically Cloud is something that picks it up the first time.
Exactly.
Simple. So, I mean, the amount of reprompting I have to do is very little, like almost nil.
Like it gets the idea, it gets what you want to do, basically much better than any other models. I would say.
They have figured out the intent behind a prompt is what I would tell. That's
Yeah.
the best thing that they have figured out, and the quality that it brings to the
Yeah.
picture also is really good. Taking from coding to writing and everything, it had nailed it down.
Basically eliminating the prompt engineering, which was a
Yeah.
thing 6 months ago, I don't know.
Yes, interesting. Yes. Cool to know that. Okay. Do you have a piece of advice? Let's just say if you were starting out from all over again from your engineering days, what is the piece of advice that you'd have told yourself for your younger self when you have got started?
Start early.
Okay, start early. Okay.
I am in this journey. I think I would tell my younger self to have started early.
Okay, so interesting. This is a very interesting take, because for a lot of times you need not change the path itself. It's just starting the path early on, so that where you are today you could be maybe 10x further in your life than you would have started. Interesting. Now, from your experience of your diverse things where you started and you have done your bachelor's and your master's abroad and so on, what are the mistakes that you have done that actually have taught you a lot of things that maybe you would not repeat, or you would suggest maybe your younger self not to do this again with respect to education, with respect to the founder thing that you also told, that start early? What are the things that you would have kept in mind if you had to start all over again?
When I was working, right, so most of the time, like most of the days, I would think that after 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 my job is done. Even though I had time, I kind of do other stuff like watch movies, spend that like that. So I would prefer, I would have, if I could do it again, right, I should have spent that time reading more books. That's one thing that is my current bucket list, but I'm not able to put a lot of time on reading books and reading a lot of original thinkers, I would say. I want to do that now, but I'm not getting enough time. So that's one thing. Like if I had read more books and listened to more people, then I would have chosen a different path maybe. Or something like that.
Okay, interesting, because this is also something interesting, because what Abhi is also telling, and what I very personally agree, is a lot of people take their free time as their waste time. I would tell they use their free time to waste time. Basically, the mindset that you did tell about the corporate people, where they believe that after 5 my job is done. I don't care about what company is going on or what the work is left out, because I'm just committed till 5, and using that time not to channel yourself, to build yourself.
Either cultivate a good sporting habit, like do a good sport like regularly. That's one habit I still have to do. Like I was like 2 years ago, I think I was very much into running. I used to do like 3 or 4 runs a week. Each 5 kilometers. Then I stopped for a reason, and then for some reason after that it was not regular. Eventually, right now I'm not doing any sport. So that, like a lot of people that I have met in India, right, like people I know, we don't take it. We take it very lightly, I feel. We need to do one kind of sport, I feel.
Yes. Interesting.
Just to get your body moving, just move away from screen as well, right? So
yes, you are a very few people that I met talks about books or takes a book as a good habit to pick up. What are the books that you have read so far, or what are the books that you are reading, and what's one of your favorite?
This one, the Habits.
Okay. Atomic Habits.
Yeah, so Atomic Habits is one I read, which kind of helped me, I think, to an extent to create these small habits. It was during the COVID time, I think I read this book. So I was very lazy because I was in Germany. I had completed studying all my subjects. Basically, we had to complete 12 subjects. I had done 11. I was planning to do my internship, and COVID hit, so I couldn't go out or take any internship. So at that time, for a month, I think I was very lazy, not doing anything, just lying in bed or something like that. So mostly spending time here and there, because there was nothing to do. And then I started reading 1 or 2 books. Atomic Habits was one of the one that I read during that time that helped, and the subtle art of not giving up. That is also something that is good, I feel like.
Yeah. What's the one lesson that you have picked from James Clear and that's helping you out in life?
These small habits, right? Like do ABC kind of a routine. Small things, right? For one,
stacking habits is what you're doing.
Yeah. So that helped me, even when I was working in my job, right, I used to do for example, I have to start my day with ABC, drink a coffee. Once you're doing the coffee, do the emails,
Yeah.
After the emails, do the call or something like
yeah.
that. After that, you get into coding or something.
Yeah.
That kind of built a habit around it.
Yes.
So after coffee, and I naturally went in front of my with the coffee. I naturally went into in
Yes.
front of my system and started
Yes.
doing my emails, which is like mostly like lot of things. Lot of emails are there.
Yeah.
Usually every day for me. So I just go through them, do that.
Interesting. So this is also something that helped me a lot with respect to, as you were telling about habit stacking. So for the ones who have no idea about what habit stacking is, as we have stacks, so we keep one habit over other habit. So it's like a step 1, step 2, step 3, and we do it over and over again, that our brain picks it up as a rhythm,
Sure.
as a routine for ourselves. So as Abhi was telling, first is getting up, making coffee, and then going towards screen. So when he did it for over and over again, our brain picks it up. At the moment you drink coffee, it tells you like go near the screen to start the
It's
work.
basically giving
Yeah.
cue for
Cues, yes, exactly. Giving the cue trigger for the habit to stack. Interesting to know that. Abhi, I was just going through your blog post around in Stable Corp. I found a curious, interesting blog post, something called as full stack ventures, full stack companies. So what is it about? What's the thing behind it?
Yeah, we call it full stack individual. Like
Okay.
this is one of the things we thought about for a very long time when we were forming Stable Corp, right? How would the companies look like in the future?
Okay.
Because AI has with AI, the shipping is not a problem anymore. Building
Yeah.
or shipping is not a problem anymore.
Not
right?
the biggest problem. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have that already in a bank. So you spend a good weekend or something, or a week, you have your code ready
Yeah.
to an extent. Like if you know what you're doing, you can get it done, right?
Yes.
So with that, one kind of the biggest team, I would say, is shrink to one model. I would say one kind of subscription.
Okay.
So with that, what we think is like people will be more towards working towards solutions, like real world problems, and want to solve them.
Yeah.
And the biggest bottleneck was that you had to make a team, create a company, and then do it. Or the typical that was the typical way before that. Now you don't have to really form a team. You just have to start working on yourself,
Yeah.
working by yourself. So a lot of people going to start solving real world problems through AI. That's
Yeah.
going to and with stablecoins, the financial rails are also like basically picking up the speed, I would say. So near instant settlement is going to happen down the line. It's already happening, we just don't see it. The regular person or a layman wouldn't see it because it's called a stablecoin sandwich. Basically you won't see it, but in the back end, whatever is running is basically a stablecoin sandwich in most of the remittance solutions right now. So you have AI for your building, you have stablecoins and other payment rails for the money you need. What they are lacking would be the compliance and banking angle that we are betting on, because there will be a lot of companies who will be built with like not like 100 people or something. It will be very lean, 4-5 people teams making million in MRR. Or something like that, or million in ARR. So those kind of teams, we see that we see them more and more. We're going to see them more and more. That's what we're predicting. So for them, banking, compliance, incorporation should not be a problem. So that's what we're trying to solve. So you do those things where what you want to solve. Just because you don't have a company or you don't have a bank account, you shouldn't be stopped.
Interesting. So you're betting on the so as the trend is increasing, as the tools are becoming better and better, so we will have full stack individuals who are equipped with all the tools to build anything they can, but and the problem that will face is with respect to the compliance and the finance and the transaction.
Exactly.
And that's where Stable Corp comes into the picture, and that's where you're betting on. Interesting. That's an interesting take on. Now you did tell about the full stack individuals and stuff. Now I wanted to know more about, since you also were in the part of and you are in the part of marketing and leading marketing here in Stable Corp. So what are the tools that you have been using? You did tell Claude, but we want to know for the ones who are starting out, because distribution is almost everything. If you can figure out distribution, building the product is not the hardest thing, as you know. So can you tell us like a series of steps you follow, or any resource that is helping you a lot in figuring out marketing and the distribution of your product?
Yeah, right now I wouldn't say I've figured it out completely to an extent. I'm figuring it out. I'm also exploring those parts. There is something like Apollo and other tools that will basically give you leads in the domain you want. I don't trust that too much, I would say. Let me see. Like I've not used that remove that trust part. Maybe I don't want to say that. So I don't rely on it too much. I would say we are participating in multiple hackathons. We are trying to get more people through events right now. That's one thing, and we are also doing SEO and AEO. To basically increase our presence within when you do Google search or Cloud. Basically, it's kind of a marketing angle there where you basically push your company to be visible in more and more places.
Yes.
So that's we are doing through blog posts. X, basically web3 is mostly on X. A lot of people are there, so we are reaching out to web3, and then through X and Instagram also to an extent, because what I have observed personally is, right, once you use more and more channels, similar content, even though it's a similar content, you put it on multiple channels, so your indexing will become much better. So that's what I've observed. So that we are pushing 2 or 3 marketing channels. That's one thing. LinkedIn is also one of them. Apart from that, events, attend more events and unlock and access through the ecosystem like Super Team. So the Super Teams is like a Solana thing where they have something called a super team in different regions. There is Super Team India, Super Team Germany, Super Team Nigeria. So we are trying to access all the emerging market super teams and get through the developers or freelancers. Basically, the whole community is under the super team, or basically the super team knows the community, so we are getting through them.
Yeah, interesting. So it's like you're primarily depending more on the part of outbound reach and in-person events where you can meet people, understand their problem statements, and then give a very personalized solution for that.
Exactly.
Interesting. Now I would ask you this one thing to understand on the bigger picture part of your company. If everything that you have planned around Stable Corp, if everything goes well, how do you envision, how will Stable Corp look like in 10 years down the lane?
So what I envision is that not only freelancer, we could enable small businesses and any kind of cross-border payments through business or a freelancer should get basically through us.
Okay, interesting. So how do you envision your company to be like? Do you see like a lot of people join your company, you have a proper whole thing set up, and how do you visualize this thing?
Down the line, the team is going to be expanded for sure, but I don't think scaling up to thousands of employees, I don't think that is required right now, or for us maybe. So right now we are like 4 or 5 people, so it could maybe extend to few people, like hundreds maybe max. I would say not even that. I doubt that. So we would probably keep it to 15-20 people.
Yes, interesting, because with as the time is growing around, the empowerment towards employees is also becoming better and better with all the AI tools and the tools around in the market. That forces you to be lean also, and be profitable at the same time.
We have to be lean.
Yes, exactly. And also being lean also gives you the control over the company.
Not as much. So I don't really think in terms of control of the company. So we want to, like, my kind of thesis is, right, so why I joined working with Sangarsh or anybody in my team, or why we onboard anybody is, right, so my kind of thesis is that I want to work with somebody who I can work for rest of my life. So that's what I want to associate it with. So for people, for example, I worked with Sangarsh for like 10-12 years now, even though not actively, but we are working on one of the other projects. We did our bachelor project together. We did our one of the dev shop we ran it together. So we kind of understand each pros and cons, and we are okay with that. So we basically, so I can work with him, he can work with me to a longer period of time. So we want to onboard people who has the similar vibe. I would say that they want to see this company growing, as well as keep working with us for a long time.
Interesting.
That's kind of how I go about it, because I worked with multiple companies for like 9-10 years, for like 8-9 years I would say now. So I worked with a lot of nice people. I've worked with not so good people. I worked with a lot of nice people, but never I have settled. Since I'm stepping out of that space, I want to work where I want to settle, right, like for the lifetime.
Okay, interesting. Now maybe we have a follow-up question to what you did tell. Can you tell me some of the red flags that you see in people that makes you feel like you should stay away from this person?
Red flags, I don't know, like mostly like I try to work. I don't want to like personally what I won't say it as a red flag, maybe it's like compatibility. So whatever they are thinking, if you are not agreeing with that, it's kind of no-brainer that you won't work well together, right? So the way you see things, the way he sees things, maybe like sometimes different is good, but you should agree on few things, and like if there is a mistake, you should be able to move past it, right? Not blame game should not be there. You did this, I did this. It's like it's all childish. So I like to work with people for a month or two and then only decide whether to go with them or not.
Interesting. So this one thing that you did tell, that you work with somebody for a month to come to a conclusion to whether to continue working with them or not is a practical thing to take towards.
Do you want to work with them for like kind of like longer period of time? Can you endure it basically?
Yes.
Nobody is perfect. Everybody has their own pros and cons. So are you willing to live with that? So that's kind of decision I basically do.
Interesting. So we have come to the end part of the whole podcast. Now, do you have any ask for our audience about anything around?
Yeah, definitely. So follow us on Twitter, and if you are building on chain, book a call with me. We will guide you through the entire process. And if you are wanting somebody to, if you're planning to set up your business in outside, we probably will have the best solution. Yeah.
Lovely. So yes, it was lovely talking to you, Abhi. So we learned a lot of things about Web3 and the ecosystem and how Stable Corp is empowering people to do cross-border transactions and
it's only not only cross-border, so it's like incorporation, invoicing, banking, treasury, and compliance. All four things. So these are the four pillars that we are four things we are working, and we are the only company, I would say, that is working on this vertical completely end to end. For example, if you take incorporation, there are a lot of companies who do incorporation. If you take banking, there are a lot of companies, but nobody is doing all of them in one shot, right? So it's complete vertical of your ecosystem, of your startup, that we take care of.
Interesting. So Stable Corp is like a all-in-one solution for if you're going in this vertical and for a series of problem statements that if you have around it. Lovely. It was nice talking to you, Abhi. So
it was nice meeting you.
Sure. Likewise, and I believe you people have enjoyed the video. Thank you so much. Subscribe for more.